In this video, I'm going to showcase how to administrate your website. So once your website's up, open up another tab and type in your website URL. So in this case, it's ho-pe.com/wp-admin. This will bring up the login screen to allow you to go into the back end of WordPress to make changes to your website. So by now you should have a username and password. If you forget your password, there is a lost your password link that you can click on. You'll type in your username and it should email you with the address that's on file a link to reset your password. Now once you log in, you should see a panel or a dashboard as they call it that looks similar to this. So what I want to go over is how to change images on your website. So for example, if I wanted to change this particular image on the home page, all the images are stored under the media section. So over on this left hand side menu, I'll select media. I would then search for that image, and if you don't see it, make sure you also check there's a little section over here where it allows you to go to different pages of the images. So I'm going to click on next, and here it is, home page. You can also search for images as well. So organization is key in terms of creating new images and naming images so that you can always search for it if you can't find it. So what you want to do next is you want to click on edit. You always want to swap the image with images of the same size. So in this case, it's 1250 by 336. It's also a JPEG type image. You don't exactly have to have the exact file name. WordPress will take care of it. So, but as long as the image type's the same and the dimensions is the same, when you upload the new image, WordPress will automatically take the old image out and replace it with your new image. So when you have an image ready to be uploaded, you'll want to click on upload a new file, which is down here. Click on it, and then you'll search for the image that's on your computer, and then you'll want to just replace the file and press the upload button, and that will basically swap out the old image with the new one. So another example is the About Us. If you wanted to change this picture of the city landscape, you'll go back to the media section, and then it's name appropriately About. You'll want to go to edit. Make sure that the file name's the same and the dimension's the same, 488 by 638. That's in pixels. And then you want to upload a new file of the same file name and the same size. So that's basically how you would change images on your site. The next thing I want to go over is how to change content on your page. And content's basically the text, the verbiage that's on each of your page, minus the blog section. That will go on. We'll talk about later. Let's see. So to edit content on the pages, you'll want to go to pages. So on the left hand side menu, there will be a section called pages, and all the pages are named appropriately. All these services pages are indented under the services we provide, and the home page does have a little extra code in it. There's a span tag, and what that does is allows you to use a different font color. So if you wanted services on the services we provide page to have a different color, you would put the span tag between the word services, similarly to what we have on the home page. So since we're on the services page, let's go ahead and edit that. So if you hover over the services we provide, there'll be an edit link. So I'm going to click on that, and you'll see that on the services we provide page in the admin section, it'll look similarly to what you see on the website. So all your basic word features are present in WordPress. The bullet points here, as well as the ordered list, which is basically the number list as we used here. Hyperlinks are this chain link right here. So if you wanted to make one of the words be a hyperlink, for example, let's say navigate, you highlight the word, you click on link, a little pop-up box will appear, and you would just type in the URL. If it's an external website, you also have the option to have it open up a new tab or window, or if it's a page within your site, you could just scroll within this little section here and try to find the page that you are trying to link it to. You can always search for the page as well. So if I wanted to navigate to maybe link to the home page, I would type in home. Let's see if home page shows up. If not, what's the home page called? Let's just double check. The home page called What is Hope? So I would type in What is Hope, and here it is. Oh, What is Hope? I would click on it and then add a link. So editing a page is pretty easy. Now, there are certain headlines. These are called headlines. They're a little bit bigger, and they're in bold text. There's two types. The big one is called the heading 2, which is in this drop down box is heading 2. And this one, let's see. This one is just a regular bold. Let me just double check to see if there's another type of heading. It might just be bold and heading 2. Let's see. These are bold. No heading there. That's the heading 2. That's bold. Heading 2 bold. So yeah, there is no heading 1. If you want to change, let me go back to the service we provide. If you want to change what's put here, as well as the menus, that's actually the title of the page itself. One last thing I want to go over is if you're typing, there is a difference between pressing the enter key apparently there isn't. Sometimes there is a difference between typing, pressing the enter key and pressing shift enter. Shift enter typically will just be a line break, while pressing the enter key typically will bring a paragraph break, which will essentially be a line break plus an extra space. So if you encounter that, just keep in note that you do have shift enter as an option. I might have just turned that off just for simplicity to always just be a line break. Just clean that up a little bit. The other thing I want to showcase is if you wanted to add images, add new images to the page. So let's say at the bottom of the page here, you want to add another picture. Pictures are added with the Add Media button that you can click here. And this option is really nice because essentially you could pick an existing image that you already uploaded, or you can upload a new file. Click on Select File, and then you'll just search your computer for the new image. So adding new content to pages is pretty easy. They're all organized based on. I'm just going to leave the page. I'm not going to make any saves. All the pages are organized by their page name that you can see on the menu. Let me just go back, and whenever you make changes, they're not live until you press the update button, this blue button here on the right hand side. So that's essentially how you edit pages. Your website does have a backup system. Um, Websites are also automatically backup by your hosting server or hosting provider. But if you wanted to keep a local backup of your website, keep a backup of everything of your website on your computer, what you want to do is you want to create a new backup, a more recent backup, especially if you made new changes. You'll click on Backup Buddy, and then you'll under the submenu you'll click on Backup. You'll then click on Complete Backup. It'll take a couple minutes for WordPress to create a backup of everything on your website, and then it'll create hyperlink. So I just created a recent backup 21 minutes ago. So this is the most recent one, and then all you have to do is click on the download button here, and it will save your website onto your computer. So that's nice. It allows you to have a local copy in addition to having your hosting provider backup as well. It's nice to have a local copy because in the event that your hosting provider messed up and forgot to make a backup or lost your backup or they just simply went out of business, you'll always have your own copy of your website. Now you can also schedule a backup on a timely basis if you don't want to do it manually. So if you know you make a lot of changes and you do it typically once a week, you could set it up on a weekly basis. You can also set it up on a daily basis or twice daily. You have the option to have the backup be emailed to you if it's small enough. If it's less than 10 megabytes, this website already went over that. If you have Dropbox, you could have it saved onto your Dropbox. If you have an Amazon account, Amazon S3 account, you can save it there. On a different FTP server, we have that as an option. And if you don't have any of these, the default is basically just to save it off on the hosting server itself, which doesn't really protect you from the event that your hosting server goes out of business. But it's still nice to have your own daily backup working alongside the hosting provider's daily backup. The next thing I want to showcase is the blogs. Your website has the blogging capabilities under blogs, as well as the latest blog posts showing up on the home page. So to create a new blog, it's really a blog post. So to create a new post for your blog, you'll click on the left hand menu. There's a post tab. Once you click on that, you'll see all your past posts. So for example, right now we just have the coming soon. If you want to edit that, you'll just hover, just like pages, you'll just hover over the post that you want to edit. The edit link will show up, and then you can edit the content. This is the content here, which will show up over here. The the post name, which is let's see, this part right here, as well as what shows up on the home page. And if you want to change the date, so instead of like November 21st, 2013, as well as November 21st, 2013 on the home page, you would edit that over here on the right hand side under publish on. You can change the months, the dates, and the time, as well as the time that the blog post originally got posted. And you also have the option to create categories, and categories shows up over here. So I have one as life, And the reason why life doesn't show up here is because there is no blog category called life. So let's say I wanted to create a new one, a new blog post. So let me go ahead and create new blog post. This is a new blog post. And again, images work the same way. You have the option of just uploading image through the add media button. You also have some other features that we'll explore, changing the font size, italicizing, underlining. Click here to go to the original news page. I'm just creating some dummy content. And let's say you want to click here to be a hyperlink. You'll highlight the word here. And let's say the original blog post is, or the original news page is CNN.com. You can do that. Open up a new tab. And there you go. You have a hyperlink. Hyperlink here are in blue, but the color that shows up here doesn't necessarily correlate with the color that will be on a home page. You can also change font colors if you wanted to. So here's an example where Enter creates that little spacing, while Shift Enter does not. So that's where there's a difference between Shift Enter and Enter. You also have the option to change font types. Try to make one that's a little bit obvious. Let's do impact. So there you go. As well as bullet points. So that's, I mean, that kind of gives you a whole bunch of options in terms of stylizing your pages with content. If I wanted to select an existing category, I could. Let's do life. And if I wanted to create a new one, I could go here, click on add new category, and let's say this one's news. So I'll type in news, and I'll go ahead and add that. So what that would do is that would actually, when I post the actual blog post, it'll, under categories, it will automatically create a news as well as a link category, because now there is one post that has both, or that has both news and links. So you do have the option to select multiple categories if a post applies to multiple categories. What's also great too in WordPress is if you're not ready to post, you can always preview just to see what it would look like if the post was going to be published. You can also time your posts as well. You can either publish immediately by pressing the publish button, or you can delay. So let's say I wanted to have this post automatically show up on January 1st, 2014 at midnight. I could do that, and what that would do is it'll be scheduled, so the blog won't go live, or the post won't go live until that time. But I want to do this now, so let me just cancel that. So when I click on publish, and if I refresh the blog page, there you go. Now we have the new blog post. Life and news categories show up under archives. Now we have the month of December showing up because this blog post is posted on December. And under recent posts, we'll see our recent posts. So under if I click on life, it'll bring all the blog posts that fall under that category. If I click on one of the months, like November, it'll bring up all the blog posts that shows up that were published during that month. And recent posts just brings the actual post. Now let's say I don't want, obviously we don't want these this post in particularly to show up. So we'll go and click on post, and instead of clicking edit to edit the post, we'll just click on trash, and that would delete that post that we created. If you want to organize your categories a bit, because we created, let me click on edit, because we created categories for that other post that we no longer, that we just deleted, we no longer have, the categories are still there. And if you don't intend to use these in the future, just to clean up some clutter, we could go to categories here in the sub menu of posts and highlight these two and click on delete. And now those categories are gone, or they were gone before because there was no blog post that applied to those two categories. But if you go to all posts, edit our one and only posts, we'll see that the categories are no longer there. So essentially, that's basically it in terms of administrating your website. So you have the option to add new posts, edit posts, and delete posts, as well as the categories for those posts. And you're allowed to edit all the content to the pages of your site, as well, adding images, stylizing your content, as well as renaming your pages. So that definitely gives you a lot of flexibility so that you are allowed to continue to maintain your website. Thank you.